It's like Grandma Myrtle used to tell me, if you don't have anything nice to say about a person, come over here and sit by me. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Beth, aka Rock and Raven, and it has been a really long time since I've done any kind of video, FlossTube or fitness update or Lancaster tours or otherwise. I apologize about that. Things really have been insane the past couple of months. Things have been good, but just a lot of things going on that have kind of kept me from doing my normal schedule of updates, stitching, etc. So I'm not really ready to show any stitching progress. I don't have all that much. A couple of things to report, but I have something that's coming back from the framers in a few days, and once I get it back I'll do a video for it then, and I'll show off the other whips that I have, and I'll have a little more progress by that point too, so the video will be a little more interesting, hopefully. So what I wanted to do today was the behind the scenes tag, which Jessie Marie does stuff, just did on her channel, and I thought it was really interesting, and I wanted to see what other people do for it, but I figured it wouldn't hurt for me to contribute to that as well. So I'll just dive right into it. There are 13 questions in total, so we'll start with the first one, which is optional, which is take a picture of your setup. And I'm not going to do that, mainly because I use for my which I'll talk about in a second, for my videos, the camera that I use to take a picture. I don't know, I suppose I could try taking a picture and sticking it in the beginning. We'll see. There isn't much to see with my setup, as we'll get to in just a minute. The next question is, how did you come up with your channel name? Ugh. It's one of those things that I thought it was a really good idea at the time, and now I kind of hate the channel name and think it's cheesy and stupid and kind of want to change it to something, I don't know, even more. I had the hardest time coming up with, because I wanted to do, originally my channel was going to be not just about cross stitch and floss tube, there you go, Christian cross stitch. Anyway, cross floss tube. Anyway, I was going to talk about a lot of the things like music and reading and my fitness, and of course the big thing was going to be FlossTube, and I just settled on Rock and Raven because I like ravens and I like to rock. I don't know. And it makes me sound like I'm friggin' 12 years old in 1981, but maybe I was 12 in 1981, but anyway. It is no longer 1981, and I am no longer 12, so I think the channel name is kind of dumb. But, I don't know, weigh in. Tell me what you think. Maybe we can come up with something a little bit better. I don't know. I'm still almost thinking of changing it to something like Back in Black Crew or something anyway. Although I'm no longer working on that black fabric project, by the way. But another video, another time. Alright, moving on. Question 3. When did you post your first FlossTube video to YouTube? That would have been, I think, this January, late January or early February of 2016. I stumbled over some other FlossTube videos, thought it looked fun, picked a tag, and went for it. Question number 4. What do you use to record videos? Okay, so I use just a standard digital camera. It's a Nikon Coolpix S5300, if that makes any difference. It's a couple of years old, and I have it mounted on a tripod that's the Migo Splat. It's bright blue. I love the tripod. It's really neat. It's only a few inches high, but it has 5 little legs, and they're each adjustable, so you can wrap them around anything. So the overhead video that I did, for example, where I was demonstrating the Artisan, this lock scroll frames, that was the Migo Splat wrapped around a T-bar that I had to display jewelry. So I robbed from another hobby to do that, but it worked perfectly. The Splat can hook up to anything. It's really a neat, versatile tool. So yeah, S5300, Nikon Coolpix, little Migo Splat. I put it on top of some books, and the books are on top of a little small wicker dresser up here in my crafting room. And like Jessie Marie, I sit on the floor to record most of my videos. I'm just a floor person, always have been. When I was a teenager, I'd take food up to my room and sit on the floor and eat, and my mom would come up and say, you love it in Japan, but this isn't Japan, get off the floor. And I would just look at her and then take another bite of SpaghettiOs. I never did get off the floor. I do everything on the floor. Anywho, so that is, that's what I use to record the videos, the hardware. Question 5, do you record only straight onto video software or directly onto YouTube? I do use video software. My usual YouTube videos, I just use the Movie Maker program that comes with Windows. It's basic, it's clunky, I don't do a whole lot with it, but I assemble, I put in my still shot at the beginning with my channel name and the little, catchphrase that I have and the music. And by the way, that music, if anyone's curious, it is from a band who's now sadly broken up, from Chicago, called Bad City. In case anyone's wondering, I thought those 2 chords at da-da was just a really nice, quick kind of give people an idea of what I'm into music-wise. So, okay, so yeah, I use, for the FlossTube videos, I use Windows Movie Maker. For my Lancaster tour videos, and I have another one that's on the way soonish, I actually use I have a laptop with Adobe Premiere Pro installed on it, which is really nice, really expensive. Thank you to a past employer for getting that for me and never asking for it back. So, did I say that? Okay, anyway, yeah. Premiere Pro is kind of intimidating, but if you are willing to go out there and find video tutorials and sort of figure some things out, and I'm only doing the most basic of stuff with it. I'm basically editing videos together, redoing some audio, and adding just a few small effects of fade in, fade out, and titles. And that's all I'm doing with it. So I am using a, Maserati of a program basically to drive to the grocery store and back, but it's fun, and I'm learning another program. So, all right. Question 6: do you edit? If so, what do you use? And that would be the same thing. I edit. Either I'll chop a few things up with Movie Maker, or I'll it's actually, so far it's easier for me to edit something in Movie Maker, just cut stuff and put them together, than it is in Premiere Pro, but that's just because Premiere Pro is a somewhat more complex program. Still learning that. Alright, next question. How many takes are involved? Pardon me, that was my phone. How many takes are involved, or do you knock it all out in one shot, one go? I might have a couple of false starts sometimes, or I'm not getting off on the right track. I find myself already rambling maybe at the very beginning, and that's because I don't have it fixed in my mind exactly what I need to say. And so I might start over, but usually once I get going and I get talking, I just stick and just do one shot. And if I have a few little bits in the middle or at the very end that I want to chop out, then I'll chop them out. So not a whole lot of editing, not a whole lot of takes. And just kind of roll. Let's see. If things go wrong, do you start over, or do you just post it? Now, so far, cross fingers, knock on wood, knocking on my rocking chair, my head for good measure. So far, I haven't had anything go majorly wrong. I have had a couple of videos, I think, where my camera shut off, and yeah, I just started over. It was easier, and probably ended up being a better video for it anyway. So maybe my camera has an auto ramble detector. I don't know. Like, okay, she's talking too much about tourist tumblers. Time to kill it. All right, next question, number 9. From setup to uploaded onto YouTube, how long does a video take? Depends. It's usually under an hour. Sometimes the Movie Maker can be a little slow. Sometimes the upload process to YouTube can be a little bit slow. But these videos don't take a whole lot of time for me, and that's one of the reasons why I like to do them. I feel like it's a great way to get out there and be a part of this community, but not feel like you're just giving all this time and all this effort and getting nothing back for it. So I think I love FlossTube, and yeah, the fact that I can reach out and show so much of my life, my stitching, and be part of this. And yeah, it doesn't take hours and hours and hours out of the day because I don't have that kind of time. All right, question number 10. What kind of preparation do you do? Do you have a script? How do you organize things? Do you practice or do a run through? And I don't really have a script per se. Of course, if I'm doing a tag like I am today, I'll write down the questions and answer the questions and read them off. No, I don't have a word-for-word script for my YouTube videos. I do have to host webinars on a regular basis at my job, and for those, I definitely have a script. And I've gotten pretty good about reading scripts and not sounding too robotic or unnatural, but for something like this where this is just a slice of life, then I'm fine with rolling with a general idea of what I want to say, but otherwise unscripted. And if I have anything to show, for example, here, let's say this is a whip video. Oh, look at my whip. I'll have it close to hand, somebody where I can grab it. And this is a whip, by the way. I'll talk more about this another time. Excuse me, I'm liking it so far. Let's see, make sure and do I practice? No, not really. I sit down and I just hit record and let her go. Do you watch your own videos is the next question, and the answer is yes, I do. Once they're uploaded onto YouTube, I'll watch them a couple of times, and once or twice I have realized that something was really messed up with the video, so I'd quickly unpublish and redo it if need to, or edit whatever happened. I don't remember. I know one time I had to take down my first video tour of Lancaster. See, that's the problem with using Movie Maker, is that it's really hard to preview videos. After a point, and I don't know if anyone else who uses Movie Maker has this problem, but for me, after a point, the preview just slows to a crawl and never speeds back up again. So I would watch them all the way through before I publish them, but a lot of times I just cross my fingers and go ahead and upload them, and then I watch them after they get on YouTube. And since I don't have tons of subscribers and tons of views in a really short time after uploading, then a lot of times I've been able to correct it, take it down, fix it, and get it back up again, and I don't think anyone ever sees. So it's only happened once or twice, but okay. Question number 12. If you could change or enhance your videos, what would you do? I subscribe to a number of different channels. A really good example is a channel called Comme une Française, which means like a French woman. The lady who does those has, for her thumbnails of her videos, on YouTube on her channel, she takes a cute little photograph that illustrates what she's talking about. And so her last video was about summer vacation in France, and so she had a little picture of herself in big sunglasses and a sun hat, and I think that's kind of neat, and it gives people an idea of what's to come. So I wouldn't mind doing that. And of course I would love to improve the lighting, but that would involve having a whole different house because our house is dark. I mentioned before that I think it was designed by vampires because it's so stingy with the windows and the lighting. And on top of that, as you all have seen if you watched my yard tour, we are just surrounded by trees, so that doesn't help. So yes, I'd like better lighting and to start doing, which I can do those stills for the thumbnails if I really wanted to. Be a little extra effort, but I might start doing that. Okay, so last question is share any other tidbits or funny stories. And I don't really have much else to add, so as far as advice or stories go. So I want to tack on another question, strictly optional for anyone who wants to answer it. Sorry, Jessie Marie, for hijacking this, but I'm just curious to know, with me being a Southerner, and I know it's pretty evident in my voice, I do have an accent, but I was wondering, the last question, the addendum question, which I guess would be number 14, would be, do you change your voice in any way when you are recording? So do you, if you have an accent like mine, do you try to soften it up a little bit? Do you play up your accent? Sometimes I've been, the little cute little one-liners I've been doing at the start of my videos. Sometimes I amp up my Southern accent just a little bit, just for the cutesy kitschy factor. But yes, it is a real Southern accent. For those of you who are wondering, is she faking that? No, it's just kind of a weird melange of Southern because I was raised in the deep South down in Alabama in my childhood, but then in my teenage years we moved up to North Carolina, which has a very different accent from Alabama. So I think my accent's a little bit muddled. And I've spent a lot of time up north, out west, even in Europe. I have tried to teach myself a couple of different languages, and so I think all that over time it changes my accent a little bit. But me personally, when I do these videos, I do try to enunciate a little more clearly. I've noticed that I do have the tendency sometimes to drop off ends of words. And I've always struggled with the letter R, but that's not an accent thing, it's just a me thing. I've never been great at sometimes having a nice crisp, clear R. So sometimes I'll Elmer Fudd up my R's a little bit. But other than that, I speak, I don't change my pitch. I don't speak in a higher voice. I don't really speak in a lower voice. I don't speed up necessarily, and I don't slow down. I try to be mindful of my enunciation, but I know there are times when I forget myself because I'm just talking and caught up in what I'm saying. And so pretty much what you hear is what I am. This is how I talk. So anyway, that's really it for this tag, and it was a lot of fun, so thank you again for doing this. And the original is Jessie Marie Does Stuff, and I will also put up her questions, so you can have them if you want to do this as well. And I would love to see everybody do this, because I think it would be really helpful to all of us, and if nothing else, just interesting to see how other people make their FlossTube videos happen and get them out there to everyone. So for now, that is it from me. I will be back. I'm finding more time here lately to do more videos, more stitching, and so once that other project comes back from the framer, I will show it off along with my whips. And in the meantime, I hope you all are having a wonderful July so far, and I will hopefully see lots of these tags really soon. So y'all take care. Bye-bye.